then there's people that walk by and they're like, they're just homeless, they're not zoo animals, you know. People will sit there like,
yeah.
You know, all sorts of stuff. That's cool.
So I haven't used this thing yet. I think I've used. Cool. So Tess. Alright, cool. Hello.
Hi.
I'm Luke.
Kelly.
Nice to meet you. Kelly. So we just were talking about how people come up and snap pictures of you without asking permission. That's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Why do you think they do that?
Well, actually, it's probably, okay, the majority of people that do it are like tourists, so maybe like
They haven't seen homeless people before?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But it kind of like aggravates me. Like they'll walk by, you know, not say anything, and sometimes I get like, sometimes I just let it go, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But then I guess it depends on the mood I'm in.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll like, you know, run after it. But like, why didn't you just take a fucking picture of me?
I feel that.
You know, like what you could have asked, and I wouldn't have said anything. You know, you could have put $2 in my cup and said, hey, I've never seen a homeless person. I'm from, you know, whatever country, and, you know, I was wondering if I could take a picture of you, you know,
right.
whatever. And I would probably say, you know, yeah to it, but I'm trying to be, you know, sneaky or whatever.
Right.
And by me being homeless, like, I don't really sleep at night because, like, I sleep on trains or I sleep in, like, doorways and stuff like that, and a lot of my stuff gets like stolen and taken and stuff like that. So most of my time, like, I sleep when I'm sitting here because there's police around all the time and there's people walking around all the
safe
time.
For you.
Yeah, so like sometimes like I'll just be sitting here, you know, my eyes, you know, I really even like I don't sleep. It's just like, you know, kind of just like with my, you know, eyes closed or whatever, like resting or, you know,
definitely.
Just like, you know, I can't nap for a couple minutes here and there, and I'll like wake up and there'll be someone saying like smack dab in the middle of me, like taking pictures, you know, and I'll be like, what are you doing? Like,
you think it's mostly tourists that would do that?
I mean, there's tourists, yeah, too. I mean, it's tourists, but there's also like, you know, regular people out here, because I noticed that there's a lot of like students that like probably are in school for photography or whatever,
right? And
take pictures.
Okay,
and,
I feel that.
You know, like.
So, but in those cases, like, you respect that they are taking photos for their work, but you would prefer that they ask your permission first.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So, where are you from, Kelly?
I lived in Michigan until I was about 12 years old, and then I moved to the suburbs in Burbank.
Okay.
And then...
Is that a suburb of Chicago?
Yeah, it's like right... It's like 79th and Cicero, so it's like right...
South side?
Like across the street. Yeah, like across the street of Chicago.
Okay.
Like Ford City Mall.
Yeah.
But I've always like worked, like all my jobs I've been in Chicago, and I've always like hung out in Chicago and stuff like that.
So what makes you said you were working in Chicago, what made you stop, and why are you homeless? Would you say, how would you describe the reasoning?
Okay, I worked at Burnham Harbor Yacht Club, which is, I don't know if Burnham Harbor is by like the Shut Aquarium and the Planetarium.
Okay. Yeah. I've been over there.
Yeah, that's Burnham Harbor,
right.
And there's a yacht club for that. There's usually a yacht club in every harbor, you know, Mineral Harbor, But anyways, I worked at the one in Burnham Harbor, and it's seasonal, obviously. So when the yachts come out of the water in October, and they don't go back in until the end of March, beginning of April. So from October to April, I don't have a job.
Okay.
So I worked there, you know, for, you know, several years. And I lived with my dad. I lived with my dad, so on my off season, I kind of, you know, I had a place to live, and, you know, he never charged me rent or anything. So it was the money I was living off of while, I had saved up while I was working.
Yeah.
Well, my dad, when I say my dad, it's my adoptive dad. I don't know my biological parents. I was adopted when I was 5. So my dad, he did a reverse mortgage on the house and didn't tell anybody. And so after not paying anything for, a couple years, the bank obviously, took the house.
Right.
And he didn't tell me, he didn't tell anybody. So it was probably about 5 days before, he got the notice that they were, gonna change the locks and we had to go. I had to go.
Right.
And it was, of course, on the off season. So I had a little bit of money that, I had saved up, and so I left, and he left and went to California and moved into like a senior living place or whatever. And that was 2 years ago, November of 2016.
Okay.
That's when that happened.
So you've been on the streets for about 2 years?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like you're a pretty eloquent woman. I'm surprised you haven't had any luck looking for jobs or anything like that.
I would love to work. I worked my whole life.
Right.
But you really need you need stable housing.
For sure, right?
There's no way. I even went on in ZipRecruiter and Indeed, and I have a pretty good resume. I don't have a degree, but I am certified to do medical billing and coding, but I've always, I've done, I've worked in offices and stuff too, and doctor's offices, but I just like doing waitressing and bartending better. I guess I just like moving around a lot more than just sitting in an office.
Right? Yeah.
And I like the everyday money, as a waitress and bartender. But when I first was on the street, like I said, I had a little bit of money saved up, so I was kind of renting rooms here and there, and staying at people's houses, and stuff like that. But it didn't that didn't last long because I ran out of money.
Right.
So and I was I wanted to go on Indeed and ZipRecruiter stuff, and I did, and I for one of the restaurants they said okay, they emailed me, and it was on a Monday or something, and he set up an interview for Friday. Well, Friday came, and I'm like, I can't go. I can't go like this.
Why? Because you weren't clean, you didn't have nice clothes, kind of thing?
Yeah, and when you've been homeless, you're just dirty.
Right.
There's, even if you wash your hands and stuff, there's dirt in calloused in your hand, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And there's you got dirt on your fingernail, and it's just really gross. Thank you very much. And so and the clothes that I had was the clothes that I had on for 2 weeks, which is sweatpants and whatever somebody gives you, or the church gives you. And it wasn't going to work out. You know what I'm saying?
You already knew, so it was why put yourself through the shame and kind of
right.
It kind of just sucks.
It would have been embarrassing, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm well, let me not, But I did it the right way and called and said and I lied, and I said another job offer came up, But I'll keep you guys in mind in case something, something happens, blah blah blah.
Whatever, yeah.
So that's what happened. That's what that's how that whole situation went.
Yeah.
And it just got so far down into the homelessness where I ended up on the street.
For sure.
I was staying in shelters for a while, but shelters I don't like. I've had bad experiences with them.
Okay.
I really feel safer on the street. One of them was infested with bed bugs. I've never.
It's pretty common, I think, right?
Yeah, I've had bed bug. Like I had like the bites like on my eyelids and my ears, stuff like that, and I never knew.
Scabies, isn't that a thing too?
Yeah, and I never knew I was allergic to bed bugs because I've never had them before in my life. So when like my throat and stuff started closing up and like I couldn't breathe and stuff, they rushed me to the ER, and they found out that was the reason because I had all these.
You're allergic to bed bugs.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then there's like Pacific Garden Mission, which is a shelter, a pretty popular shelter that everybody goes to. And I just had bad experience there because, white people are the minority.
Yeah.
And, black people, are all there. And, that's, I would say 90%, is black people. And then people that work there, is all black. So, they're going to look out for their people,
I feel that. Yeah, no, for sure.
So, it just, it wasn't, I just felt uncomfortable where I stayed.
Right.
So I met, like, I have a boyfriend out here. He's kind of, he's homeless too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not really serious because we're both homeless. Like, what could we really do for each other? But
right.
like, but he he does like look out for me, because me being a female and a white female,
for sure.
I've been, like harassed by people, or they, they just do a lot. They'll think I'm a prostitute,
Sure.
or not even think, but expect something, a sexual favor because I am a female, and I'll pay you this, which is like not me. I've never done that. Even like during my worst times, my lowest times, I've never done that.
Yeah.
And for a while, when I first became homeless, I didn't do this because I thought this was like degrading, and I would, and it was humiliating. I was ashamed, and so after about 4 months of being on the street with $0, and there was days that like I didn't eat, and and I'm like, shit, like what, like what can I do, like what,
Right.
and even like people like, like even if like you found like a babysitting job, like they don't know my background, they don't know what they figure a homeless person is, dangerous or whatever.
Sure.
And a lot of people think that like, like we're monsters or aliens, or like we're not human,
Right.
But I mean, like we're all human. We've just been through something, and that's what put us in this situation, And I was like living a really good life, a great life actually. But my husband passed away in 2011, and that's why I ended up living back with my dad.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, man. I think it's like super tough, and I think that's like part of the reason why I wanted to do all of this is because I think a lot of people walk by or ignore or don't really pay attention to the fact that like homeless people are human too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like a lot of these issues are, systematic issues, and there needs to be like more attention brought to it, because in my eyes there's no reason why you shouldn't be working, and I think it's just the difficulty of getting to that point. It's almost impossible to get back up. So.
Right. I mean, like, even when people say like, "Oh, get a fucking job," I'm like, it's easier said than done.
Sure.
Like I said, like I wish I can work, but you can't work. There's no way I can work like this.
Right.
Now,
what do you think you would need to be able to get a job like this?
I was actually just talking to this guy. He was from Kentucky. He gave me on St. Patrick's Day. It's kind of tipsy, but he gave me a $100 bill, and I got a room.
Right. Nice.
I got a room actually Saturday and Sunday night, and it really, I would think like 30 days in like with stable housing, which would be, you know, a room,
Right.
you know,
Just a room, 30 days, maybe some like support and like people that'll like help you stay on your shit kind of.
Yeah,
I feel that for sure.
Yeah, you know, like a couple of, you know, of the like the crappy hotels that aren't that much, you know.
Right, yeah, like not much, just a place to like set your things down, like a home base kind of. Because you can't like, where are you gonna leave your stuff?
Right,
like,
what if
where
I
are you
got a
gonna
job?
go?
What if I got a
all
job?
your stuff's
Like,
gonna get stolen. Like,
right, you know.
So it doesn't really like. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So like I was, you know, when he asked me the same thing, like I was thinking, you know, about it. Like I think like 30 days would be like, you know, sufficient, because within that 30 days, like I said, when I was like looking on Indeed and ZipRecruiter and stuff, like so many people, there's so many jobs, so many doctor's offices that need people for billing.
Right.
You know, so I don't think it would be hard for me to get a job, and even for, you know, restaurants have such a big turnaround, you know, constantly. You know,
there's jobs out there. It's just like you've been disqualified just because of your situation.
Right, and I, you know, if I had somewhere to stay where I could take a shower, had the clothes, you know, did my hair, put my makeup on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
totally.
dress. I believe that within that 30 days, I would be able to do what I, you know what I'm saying, that
For
I
sure.
could get my shit together, and then you know, get a paycheck, you know, my first paycheck, second paycheck, or whatever, just continue, you know, to either rent a room or, you know, look for a studio, and, you know, but yeah.
Cool. Well, I really appreciated you taking this time to talk with me. We talked for about 16 minutes, so that'll come out to $8. Is that cool with you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
There you go. Thank you for your time. Take care.
Thank you very much.
And good luck to you. I'm sure I'll see you around.
Thank you.
Again.
Yes.
Peace out.